Hi there again, everybody. Welcome back to Prestige Auctions, and it's another members-only special. We're going to be once again back to that old Argos catalogue because I'm just finding it super fascinating. Today we're going to be looking at jewellery and the odd electrical as well, as we sort of ponder through what prices were in 1978 compared to what they are now. Of course, I was just 7 years old, and to find the old catalogues and that like this really does take you back in time. What's really interesting though is it shows you what the stuff that's coming into the auction room these days and what it was actually costing back in the day. And it's interesting to compare that to what it was actually, you know, what it actually cost at the time. So first thing we're going to look at today are these old 9-carat gold ingots. Now, I make a thing about these. In fact, I've recently done a YouTube video on old 9-carat gold ingots because they look fascinating. They were of the time. People loved wearing these, and of course you got them in different sizes. Now when you look at this old Argos catalogue here, you know, as you can see here, the centre one, which of course is the biggest one, the lovely 375, the lovely crown, the lovely date letter, everything tells you all about it. And then ED at the top, which of course is the maker's name for Elizabeth Duke. Elizabeth Duke has gone on to be pardon me, the name we all know and trust for Argos, and has been for many years. So when you look at this, you've got an anchor on there as well, so which is the maker's mark for Birmingham. And I'm going to guess at this, I'm not 100% sure, maybe you could let me know in the comments, that the C date letter there is probably for 1978. It's probably the year that these were actually made. So what we need to do is actually have a look at what these were making. So 6 is the smallest, 7's the biggest, 8's the medium, we think. Yeah, so there you go. You can see there. So number 6 was 1/6 of an ounce. Okay, number 7 was half an ounce at 79.95, and number 8, which I believe was that the middle one. Let's have a look. No, 8 was the bigger one. It's a bit strange that it would do that in that sort of order, but there you go. So 8 was the biggest one. It was 1/4 of an ounce. It's half an ounce in the middle, so yeah, I was right. So half an ounce, so basically 14 grams of 9-carat gold. Now, wouldn't you just love to be able to buy 14 grams of 9-carat gold? Now, let's have a quick look at what that actually equates to. So 14 grams at today's price times... Wow. Full London scrap price today, 360 something pound. So 360 something pound that you could have invested £79.95 in 1978 by my reckonings is a good absolutely fantastic return. But just say there, look, each ingot is supplied with an 18-inch chain, slightly substantial to bear the pendant weight. So I wonder if that weight was on top of the price, the weight of the ingot, because if it was, then you'd be getting even more gold for your money. So there you go, that's what they were in 1978. Another picture that I found fascinating was these old charms. Well, of course, I love selling charms. I think that people should always break them down and sell the charms separately. So you've got the eagle's claw there. You've got the baby and the stork, the horseshoe. These were some of the popular ones. Cupid, of course, St. Christopher, and the church, which is probably one of the opening ones. Now, we all know that these hold a premium these days because people do like them. But when you look there, let's have a look at the stork and the baby. It's £16.95. You know, that back in the day would have been a lot of money, but that is so cheap now when you look at this. And you consider there the claw and the ball at £15.95. You know, that's a £60, £70, even £80 item now. And when you come here, the Norman church there at £16.95, you know, that's a 4 to 5 gram piece, so that's well over £100. And St. Christopher there, this gold St. Christopher at £8.95. Just absolute bargains, these are. I just want to say hello to the new people that have joined the members club, and you are all helping, of course, to put the money together to employ a cameraman to work a couple of days at Prestige so we can do even more content. And of course, because you guys, if we can get up to that magic 1,000 mark of 1,000 members, we would, of course, if you lot have paid for it, we would put all of those out to you guys first, any filming that we do. So let's wait and see if we can hit that magical number. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here are all silver charms and things and silver pendants. Of course, big royal theme, Big Ben there. The moving fish. It should be interesting to see what they call that. So we've got Tower Bridge there at £3.45. Look at that. Wedding bells at £1.99. The flexible fish is what they've called it at £3.45. The Norman Church at £3.45. Again, showing you the massive difference between silver and gold. However, I want you to look at this. I want you to just look at the Norman Church. £3.45. Now, I think that's the same design. That one there. Look, number 5. Now let's go back to that one there. It's not unsimilar, is it? In fact, I'm probably going to say it's about the same. So you've got that one in gold. So number 27 at £16.95 and then £3.45 on the silver one. So basically a quarter of its value. When you consider now that the difference between silver and gold is not a quarter, it's humongously different. That you would have been so much better putting your money into the gold market and into the gold items rather than the silver, because the silver ones are just not, even those, those little shades, they might make £10-12. Well, you'd have, from the original money that you'd paid at £3.45 at Argos, you're probably going to 4 times, on a good day, 5 times your money, then take your commission off, back down to 4 times your money. Whereas you would have been in a lot more on the gold. Anyway, they also had some silver ingot pendants and things, and some little lockets. And of course, you've got to remember, this is 1978, and there you go. So silver rectangle locket, $7.28. I actually thought when I first looked at these that the hallmark sterling silver round locket and so on, £10.95. Considering how much silver is in them, didn't think it was actually that cheap. So. But back in, and silver was big in the day though, so there you go. Oh, we also had a load of rings as well, which I'll tell you what, I'll just skip to them just to show you. There they are. So they're the rings. And when you look at these, I mean, we'll pick on, say, the buckle ring there at number 7. You've got all these different designs, which, of course, when I talk about these in the auction week in, week out, when they come in, and I say a very 70s design, these sort of effects that they had on the side and the back effects and that, it just shows you this is a 1978 catalogue. So when we go back to the prices of those, where are they? So there you go. So coming down here, gents signet ring, where's the engraved buckle ring? There you go. So £34.95. My guess there is this probably going to be maybe 6 or 7 grams worth of gold in there, which again, the investment would have been so good from back in the day. But when you look at some of the others there, gents 9 carat gold signet ring, gents 9 carat gold signet ring, and the gold oval signet ring, none of them were super expensive. But that's easy for me to say now in 2025. You're going back 40 odd years ago. That was a lot of money. Number 14 there. Pick this one out because I quite liked it. Again, it's got that very 70s look around the edgings of it. And sapphire and diamonds. Big illusion set. Tiny diamond in the middle. Plenty of sapphire. And there you go. Look, centre diamond and 8 sapphires. 9 carat gold mount with wide textured shoulders. Diamond carat weight 0.03. Tiny. Sapphires, total weight 1 carat, matches number 18 on page 51. Catalogue numbers and so on. Competition's retail price $54.95. Our price $29.95. I wish I could buy them brand new at $29.95 these days. Then we moved on to some electronics. Now, I want you to think about this. So back in 1978, electronics was sort of still, to a degree, in their infancy. New sort of retail electronics, in my opinion, were quite expensive. Now, if you look at this one here at £18.25 with the red LED display, these are the ones that have gone on to be quite collectible. Whereas the digital watches that were available at the time were probably more money than this, and they're just not that collectible anymore. So when you look at this here, so hang on, we've not got the because we had the price on it. It was $18.95. Now this one here, we see an example of this quite often in our cabinets at Prestige. When you look at it, it's just a very, very, very standard watch. We normally put these in boxes of assorted, to be honest. When you look back at this was £18.95 for the Symbogent's automatic watch. Gift coloured case, brown dial, 25 jewel. It's hideous. And it was £18.95. And I just think, when you look at that now, we're lucky if we could get we'd be lucky if we could get £1 for them. So again, not a great investment for that, but maybe you liked the look in 1978. Here's one that I picked out that, again, I thought was quite nice. So West Clocks was a big clockmaker, big name. And these sundial clocks were all the rage through the 60s and into the 70s as well, and through the 70s and possibly into the early 80s, because when you look at that, these are the sort of things that I can guarantee you now, they're sort of £30-40 in the auction room today in 2025. Look at this, £7.95 it was. The Astor pull-to-wind wall clock, simulated wood grain case with silver and gold coloured dial. There you go, £7.95. So again, when you're seeing these lying around, when you're clearing properties, keep hold of these, put them into the auction. It's the sort of look people are looking for. And this was one that I picked out because I was quite shocked at this. So number 11 in particular is what we're looking at, is the Akai cassette recorder. Again, if we got one of these in the auction now, the chances are it's going in a box of assorted because they're just not worth much. But you look at this, bearing in mind, this is 1978. Number 11 was £94.95. I am guessing that was more than a week's wages for most people back in the day. Built-in CR02 selector, pause control, slider record level control, and record level meter. Wow. Must be used in conjunction with stereo amplifier. So this was basically a cassette recorder for £94.95 in 1978. That is massive. That's a lot of money. This one here as well. Look at this one, Sharp. Well, of course, Sharp went on to be a huge make, and they did do some fantastic stuff. But this one here, when you compare it to that, which was Akai, which probably in the day I'd have favoured Sharp certainly over Akai. This one here at £99.95 is just another cassette recorder, a stacking cassette recorder. So once again, don't get me wrong, there is a market for this these days, but it's not, it's not huge. Front loading Dolby stereo cassette in £99.95. Of course, it tells you all about it on there. And I suppose in the day, if you'd have had that, somebody would have looked at it and gone, wow, what a great bit of kit that. But what about these? These old, this always reminds me of wheeling these out on something like Bullseye. Bullseye would wheel these out and go, and tonight's, Bully's special prize, and be something like this. And of course, back in the day, these were a lot of money. It was just a standard record player, a tuner, and a cassette recorder all in one. One, of course, there by Binatone, one by ITT. What sort of money were they? 6 and 7. So number 6 there was £139.95, and the other was £175. Now, again, this is 1978. £175 is a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money. And they're saying that this is a music centre. 2B 25 watt. Oh my god. Again, this would have been a very poor investment, because something like that in the auction room, £10 to £20. So again, you'd be much better off putting it into the gold. And we come up here, and of course the Ingersoll games thing for the telly. This was a colour one. This was actually quite good. So you would, kids, if you're watching this, when you look at this, look at that old brown TV in the background there. What a great bit of kit that is. Wow. Anyway, £23.95 that was. £23.95 back in the day. And there you go. So that's today's bonus bonus video for you members. We are going to be looking at more of the Argos catalogue, but soon we're going to be ramping it up to 1985 because we've got one of the catalogues on there as well. Don't worry, this isn't going to be the only member stuff. You're going to get a lot more as well, but we're just getting started, so I'm just sort of finding some things to talk to you about which are quite interesting as well. So thank you ever so much for being members on Prestige, and we'll see you all again very soon at the auction.